So today I'm going to show you how to create this paper house and how it folds open, and once you fold it open you'll see that there are different rooms, and I'll go step by step on how to create this today. If for any reason you get lost today, there is a PDF file link down below that you can use as a reference for the pieces that we make today. Alright, so what materials are we going to need to make this paper house? You're going to need 5 pieces of paper, you're going to need scissors, something to draw with, something to glue it all together with, and something to color with if you would like. Now, we need to take all of these 5 pieces of paper and make them into a square shape. So if you've got rectangle paper like me, I'm going to show you how to create a square using this paper. So we're going to take that corner, the bottom corner, and fold it over to the other side, the left side of my paper. So that corner, bend it over to the left side so it should create this like triangle shape. Once you have that, you're going to press it down, fold it down. All right, now that I have folded it, I'm just unfolding it to make sure I've got a good crease on there. You should see that fold when you undo it. I'm going to keep it folded for now, and I'm going to take a pencil and trace that line right on top where the side of my triangle is. I'm going to trace that line. Now you should see a line that goes across. Now we're going to cut along that line. So I'm doing all 5 pieces of paper at the same time. I'm holding them nice and tight and cutting. But if that's too difficult for you, you can do it 1 at a time or 2 at a time, or have an adult help you. So now that we have all of our 5 pieces of paper cut out into a square, I'm going to do one by one and fold these in a certain way. So what we're going to do, we already have a diagonal fold going down on each of our papers. Now what we want to do is go make a fold the other way. So we're going to take the bottom right corner and fold it over to the top left corner. So take that bottom right corner, fold it over to the top left. So now we have an X on our paper. Now what we want to do is take that bottom side and fold it up to the top. So basically just folding your paper in half. So once we do that, what we'll want to do is fold the other way. So now we're going to take the other side and fold it over. Alright, so now you should have like a T fold and an X fold. So you should have a fold going each of those directions. Once you have that, we're going to repeat this folding process on 3 other papers. So remember, we have 5 pieces of paper, right? But we're only doing these kinds of folds on 4 of them. So we did 1, now I'm going to do a second one, then I'll do a third one, and then a fourth one. The last piece of paper, the fold will be a little different. Alright, so now we're on our last piece of paper. All we're going to do is fold it diagonally. So I'm going to take, again, that bottom right corner and fold it to the left corner to make an X. That's all I need to do with that paper. I don't need the T fold on my last one. So now that I got those 4 pieces of paper folded that way, I'm going to take my X paper, I'm going to put that to the side. These 4 pieces of paper are going to be the rooms that make up our house. So what we're going to do first is cut this line right here. So I'm going to draw what line I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut this line on each of my papers. So that bottom T, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut that piece, like a little slit on our paper. Alright, so before we can start building our house, we're going to draw on all the details that make up our house. So the top two squares are going to be our wall space. So whatever we want to draw on, like a bed or the kitchen or couches or chairs, that's where the wall space, the top two. Then the bottom right square is going to be the floor space. And then the bottom left square won't be seen at all. So all we want to draw on each of our squares is the wall space, top two squares, and then the bottom right square will be the floor. During this time, you can draw in all your details, go over it with marker if you've got any. And if you want to color in anything, I would do that at this point as well. Alright, so you're going to draw your rooms on each of those 4 pieces of paper, and whoa! Just kidding, I didn't draw that fast. I took my time and drew it out in pencil and then with marker. So here's one room that I did. Here is the kitchen that I drew. Okay, so I have the wall space and then the floor space. Please don't forget those squares. All right, to make the front of the house, what I'm going to do is pick 2 rooms. So for example, here I picked my, let's say, living room. I'm going to flip it over to the back. And in the top left square only, I'm going to draw the first half of the front of the house. Then I'm going to pick another room, so let's call this the family room. And then I'm going to flip it over to the back again and only draw in the top right corner for the front of my house. So that's where you need to draw the front of your house. Please don't draw on any other square because you won't see it. So those are the only squares you'll see. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so now we're going to take that last piece of paper that has been so alone for so long. We're going to come bring it back, and we're going to make the roof of our house. So we're going to take one of the diagonals, one of the X's, and we're going to cut along that line. Doesn't matter which one, because we just want a triangle. So cut that, in half. So now that we have a triangle, the other one we can toss for now. What we're going to do is fold, keep where that fold was. We're just going to fold it in half. All right, and once we have that fold, what we're going to do is draw the roof. So what you could do is just draw a straight line across, or if you want to add a little chimney, which I'll show you, you can go ahead and add like a little chimney on top. So what you're going to do is draw it out, and then we're going to cut it out. So once you cut it, you'll see that there are 2 chimneys. You'll probably only want 1, so you can just cut off the extra chimney, so you only have that 1. Okay, and now you can start adding any details and textures to make your roof. Alright, so now it's time to start building our house. So we're going to take our rooms, and I'll show you how we'll start making it 3-dimensional. So we're going to take one room, and we're going to grab a glue stick in just a moment, and on that blank piece of paper we're going to add glue and then bring the other piece of paper over so it creates like a 3D room that pops like that. So this is how we fold it, just like that. Just bring it together. So what I'm going to do to make sure it stands up really nicely, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure all the little folds are really folded nicely. So if you want to do that, I recommend just folding it a little bit more to make sure it's a little bit easier to come together. Alright, so go ahead and grab a glue stick, or if you don't have a glue stick or glue, some tape could work as well. I recommend a glue stick, but whatever you got will work. You're going to add some glue all over that bottom white square, And then I'm going to take my floor square and put it right on top. And then I'm going to give it a little massage to make sure that glue grabs onto my paper. We need to give our paper some glue grab time. So I'm going to give it a little massage to help it out. And voila, we have our first room ready to go. I'm just going to pinch that side corner to make sure it's nice and straight up and standing. So once I've got that, I'm going to repeat that on the other 3 papers. Again, I'm going to fold all those little pieces up and over to make sure they are ready to stand nicely. Add the glue, put the floor square on top, and massage, and that's it. Okay, so now that we have all of our pieces ready to go, the 4 rooms and roof, now we're going to start assembling them together. That means putting them all together, building them together. So you need to make sure that they are in the correct direction, because this part can get a little tricky if we're not paying attention. So pay attention closely to these next steps and you'll be doing just fine. So the front of my house needs to be facing together and the other sides can be blank. Okay, so you need to make sure the front of your house, they are not going to be glued together, but they need to be facing each other. Okay, so now you're going to take your glue or whatever you're using to put this all together. We're going to take one corner first. And before we start gluing, what I'm going to do is take the floor and I'm just going to, you should see there's a fold, a diagonal fold. It might be a little faint. You might not be able to see it very well, but there should be a fold there. And you're just going to give it another extra fold, a little crease, to make sure it's easily bendable, because remember, this house folds flat and then we fold it open. It pops open. So we're going to make sure we bend in that floor with that diagonal fold. So now we create like a flat square, and we open it, it folds open. See? Ooh, magic. Very cool. All right, so once we've got that, I'm going to add glue to the back square. So not the front of my house, right? We don't want glue there. We want glue on the other side. So I'm going to take my glue stick, add glue all over to that side. Alright, so now that I am ready to glue it, I'm going to glue those 2 sides together. I'm going to give them a nice little massage to make sure they are together and they're not going anywhere. Alright, I'm going to repeat this process again, folding in that floor like how I did the other 2 rooms. Just fold in, bend in that diagonal line so the floor can bend in. And then I'm going to add glue to the one side. And then glue it to the last room that we just glued together. So glue that together, massage. And then we will do the same thing again with our last room. We're going to bend in that floor, so make sure that the front of the house, those rooms do not touch, do not glue those together. We're going to bend in the floor and then add glue to not the side with the drawing, but the side that's blank, and glue that to the other blank wall, and our house is starting to come together. Alright, so we are ready to now glue on our roof. So what we're going to do is add a little glue to the top and then take our roofs. Now make sure that the corners of your roof, okay, they are facing where the house would open, okay? So now I'm going to wrap it around, okay? You should see the middle folds right there. And then wrap it around and glue the other half of the roof down. Just add a little glue to the top, give it a little massage, and that is it. Now you have made your most amazing house.